To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the nomadic lifestyle, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. I've been saying for a while now that I really do believe that the nomadic lifestyle is going to be forced into stopping in the very near future, actually. I've been saying that the reason is there's so many people coming out here to live the lifestyle that there's just no place to park anymore. I mean, the campground we're at right now, every night just fills up. More and more governments are shutting things down. So the National Forest, the BLMs, city ordinances, and Walmart shutting down people staying in their cars in public streets and parking lots. And every time I make a video like this, you know, I'm criticized that, oh, you're an agent for the government, Rob. I'm not an agent for the government. I'm actually an agent for you. I'm trying to help you preserve this lifestyle for as long as possible because I see the end coming. As a matter of fact, I see it so plainly that Carolyn and I finally made the decision to make other plans for our future. Yeah, so in the next 4 years, at a minimum, we're going to start working towards a homesteading. The free camping idea is over. Now, to put this in perspective, I just read an article from a dirtbagger. I didn't know what a dirtbagger was until I looked it up. A dirtbagger is originally was a mountain climber. And what these dirtbaggers do is they go around in their vans from one location to the other location, Colorado and Utah and, you know, all the mountain climbing areas, and they stay in their vans. And this started back in the 60s. There was a famous mountain climber who started this back in the 60s. Just going from one spot to the other, just mountain climbing, and I guess it's becoming a sport. You know, they could pretty much just park anywhere. So the name has expanded from just being a mountain climber or rock climber to hikers and surfers. So there's all kinds of dirtbagger types now. And, you know, they do this for sport. This is their job. This is what they do. Well, they're beginning to find out that there's no place to stay anymore because of the city ordinances, and the parking lots are shutting this down, and the National Forest is shutting down. There's just no place to stay. You can't stay out on the beach anymore. Many places out in California where you used to be able to stay, these dirtbaggers are saying you can't stay out there anymore. There's just no place to stay. And in the article, it explains a lot of different reasons why. Obviously, you got the dirtbaggers to, you know, full-time nomads. And then you're like in areas like California where the rent is so high, people are being forced to live in their vehicles. Well, then to make matters worse, we park in front of people's houses. And this dirtbagger who wrote this article was very clever in how he stated it, because I've never been really able to figure out a good way to tell you, the van dweller, stop staying in front of people's houses. Every time I say that, well, we have a constitutional right to stay in front of somebody's house. Well, here, this guy put it so eloquently. If you're staying in front of a house with a young child that lives there, these parents are going to go, they're going to freak out. Why is there a van in front of my house with my child playing in the front yard? And then, of course, everything I've been saying, this dirtbagger who wrote this article said the same thing. He said, you know, then you have the human waste problem. He says he's literally seen others walk over to a private property bush, them go to the bathroom on this homeowner's bush. That's the reason this is shutting down, is that we're seeing things like this. And then you just got the feces problem. It's everywhere. And I've shown this. It's in the National Forest. It's in Walmart parking lots. And then we wonder why it's getting shut down. Well, it's getting shut down because we have no respect for others. And so people who've been doing this since the 60s are really starting to see this change. That I used to be able to do something, and I can't do it anymore because there's hundreds of thousands more people out here doing it. And they don't have the respect for it. Instead of just getting a knock on the door now, the knock on the door being that some law enforcement official is knocking on your door telling you that you cannot stay in this area because there's no sleeping in your vehicle ordinance or, you know, whatever. And they're no longer just ticketing you. I mean, we've seen that before on YouTube videos where they'll get a ticket for being in a spot they're not supposed to be in. Now they are arresting people. They've had enough. In this article that I was telling you about, there was a dirtbagger who was arrested for staying in a spot that he wasn't supposed to stay in. Now, according to this article, my understanding is he stayed in this spot before. And so he wasn't really concerned about it. He's been there before, did his mountain climbing or whatever it was he was doing. This time, no warning, no nothing, knock on the door, they put him in cuffs and they arrest him for violating the city ordinance. This is happening quickly. Just a few years ago, I would say around 2008, van life wasn't really a thing yet. But now van life is a huge thing. And so they went from knocking on your door, telling you gotta leave, to giving out tickets, to now they're just gonna arrest you. I've never been arrested, so I don't know what the process would be, but to be arrested so far away from home, from anybody that could help you, I'm going to say it again. We have to think from their perspective. We need to get into their heads and say, okay, what is it that is making them so upset that they're shutting this down? And it's very easy to figure out. When you pull into a Walmart parking lot and you see all these old vans and trash and human waste and bottles of human waste laying around everywhere, and you think, man, I don't want to park at this Walmart parking lot. And so they go home and they call the manager. What is it with all these disgusting people out in your parking lot? I'm never going to your Walmart again until that's cleaned up. What do you think Walmart's going to do? They're going to clean it up. They're going to shut it down. Now, Arizona, I would have thought would have been very accepting to the idea of van dwellers, because so many people say, I just met a guy today, for example, says, you're going to Arizona for the winter? I said, no, we're going to Texas. Oh, you need to go to Arizona. Arizona's the place to be for van dwellers. This is it. You would think if Arizona's a place to be, the Walmart in Arizona would be the place to be. And I've been to 3 different Walmarts here in Arizona and 1 in Utah, and they all had signs saying no overnight camping. So if Arizona is the nomad capital of the country and they're shutting it down, it's just a matter of time before everybody else shuts down. So thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, and happy travels.